How's it going, guys? MrHulthen here, and today we're taking a trip down memory lane. Because you see, this is JeremyJahns. Now, Jeremy, back in the day, made a video about the endings of Mass Effect 3. And for any of you who might not know this, back in 2012 when Mass Effect 3 first released, there was a huge outcry from people who just hated the endings of Mass Effect 3. And Jeremy here was one of the people who got the most reach with his opinions. And while it hasn't been confirmed by Bioware, me and many others are pretty sure that his video was one of the reasons to why Bioware then decided to create the extended cut that we then got for Mass Effect 3. So what we're gonna do today is that I'm gonna react to this old video of his, and we're gonna see if I still agree with some of his points. And trust me, I haven't seen this ever since he uploaded it, which was in 2012, in March. Okay, you guys ready? Let's go.
Alright, so if you're like me, you have invested so much time in the Mass Effect trilogy, and now you've beaten Mass Effect 3, and you hate the ending. So I'm here to tell you what I think about the Mass Effect 3 endings, why I think the endings suck, and what they might have been able to do to make them better. Alright, so first of all, my big issue with the Mass Effect 3 endings is choice, or lack thereof. The Mass Effect trilogy builds up the fact that what you do affects what happens in the game. The Mass Effect 3 ending goes against that entirely. So in the end of Mass Effect 3, you talk to some star child who says, alright, you have one of three options. You can either control the Reapers, you can fuse synthetics and organics together, or you can destroy all synthetic life in the galaxy. Those are your three options. To that I say, bullshit. Why are those
I just gotta interject like a little bit right here. I fully agree with this first point. The choices we got, that being the red, the blue, the green endings, I still, as I said before, I still sort of accept them. I don't love them. I don't love the thought of having to choose A, B, or C, because that is literally what I don't know if it was Mac Walters or if it was Casey Hudson, but one of them said that, oh, that's not gonna happen in Mass Effect 3. You're not gonna choose A, B, or C. Who would do that, you know? And that's exactly what we got. And yeah, many people hated it, and you know, of course, that's why this video has so many views. But yeah, let's keep watching.
Those are my only three options. First of all, talking with this kid, you don't actually have dialogue that's Mass Effect dialogue. You just kind of hear him talk to you. Where's the dialogue circle?
That is true.
How can I ask him the questions I need to ask him? How can I tell him to go fuck off? And everything I know about Commander Shepard, Renegade or Paragon, doesn't matter. If this Star Child's like, oh, you can either do this, this, or this, Commander Shepard would be like, no, bullshit. How about we've earned the right to shut the Reapers down? Not destroy all synthetic life in the galaxy, but just shut them down. I suppose you could do that if you've established that the Reapers have their own code. Oh, wait, they did. So destroy that code and shut them down.
Right. For any of you who are a little bit lost here, you know, during the Rannoch mission, when you try to broker peace between the Quarians and the Geth, you do enter into the code of the Reapers, sort of. It's established that the Reapers do have a sort of a code that makes them function how they, you know, the way they do, because they're AI. And that's what we do. We free the Geth from the Reapers' control code, or their corrupted code. And that was the strangest thing to me as well, that Jeremy points out right here, that there wasn't a possibility to just shut them down without any issues if we really fought for it, especially if you had like 8,000, I don't remember the number of war assets. You should have been able to do so if you played the game perfectly, but we didn't get that choice. Let's go on.
No, that's just not a viable option, apparently, because you did everything right in the game. Now, people have told me, and it is said, that there are 16 different endings in Mass Effect 3. I guess, technically, if by 16 different endings you mean one ending that is 95% the same ending and varies slightly in certain parts. In every one of the endings, this happens. Energy goes out, hits the Reapers, takes the Reapers down. Energy hits the mass relay sends it to another mass relays all blow up, Shockwave chases the Normandy, Normandy maroons on a planet. That is every single ending in the game. After that, little things vary, like whether or not Big Ben gets destroyed, whether or not the Earth gets incinerated, whether or not you stop the Reapers by taking control of them, whether or not you fuse organic and synthetic life together.
So here the thing is that, you know, if you played through the game without actually perfecting, you know, getting the perfect score, you would have like a destroy ending where you burn the entire Earth up instead of saving it, I guess. You still destroy the Reapers, but, you know, there's like slight variations like that. And one of those, I don't know if it was Mac Walters again or Casey Hudson, but somebody said, or maybe it was somebody else from Bioware, that there was like 16 different endings, but really it wasn't. Those slight variations, that was so frustrating to hear, that there was supposed to be that many endings, but it just wasn't true, really. Technically it was true, but, you know, technically true doesn't really work in this case. Let's go on.
And Commander Shepard dies, and all that bullshit happens. Right now, people are typing on the keyboards going, actually, Commander Shepard lives. No, he doesn't. He dies in every ending. By Commander Shepard living, you mean that one scene where it pans over to someone's chest and he takes half a breath and it cuts to credits? That's not Commander Shepard living. That's some stupid Easter egg in which they're not committed to the fact that he died. That's like Magneto moving the little chess piece at the end of X-Men 3. Just commit. Either he lives and he comes out and he's hugging all his friends. He's like, yeah, we did it. Or he dies, in which case he's, well, now dead. None of this half-assed breathe one half a breath, cut to credits bullshit. And here is another big issue I have with the game. Apparently BioWare didn't think the whole thing through about consequences and repercussions of the ending. You know, since they've built 3 games all built around consequences and repercussions. The mass relays blow up. There are no more mass relays. In which case that entire armada you brought into war to fight the Reapers are all stranded on Earth. Earth, which would not have the resources to sustain that huge galactic armada if it was in its prime, if the Reapers didn't leave it looking like this. Now you have a zillion...
Right, okay, so yeah, again, this is before the extended cut was released. He actually made a follow-up video on this, talking about the extended cut. I can't really remember what he said in it because it was such a long time ago since I watched it, but he is correct here. The only thing for any one of you who didn't play Mass Effect back then when it was released, like, it was so harrowing and so hard to see that you just made everything up in your mind that, okay, so all the mass relays are now gone, no matter what ending you chose, except if you chose like this control. Well, every mass relay was destroyed in the end, so it didn't really matter, except, you know, of course, again, destroy. But then we didn't really see when Shepard became a Reaper Overlord. It was just assumed that Shepard did become this thing. You know, the whole thing where Shepard walks towards the camera, we didn't have that back then. So it was like, it was so abrupt and we didn't really know what was going to happen. It was left on this ambiguous note, and that was really what really sucked about it, because everything we had worked for, like, everybody's gonna die right now because everybody's stuck on Earth. What are they gonna do? Start eating people? You know, all the Krogans? Anyway, let's go. Let's continue. I gotta interject like this to just, you know, make sense of it, explain it. I don't just want to sit here and just react to this video. Let's go on.
Different people and a few different species all stranded on Earth with no resources. And no mass relays to go get resources. Couple things about that. That is telling me in the best ending possible, the best case scenario, everyone who came to war with you, that entire galactic armada, they're all gonna starve to death on Earth and die. Good job fighting the Reapers, man. That's your big payment. Everyone's
what
dead
a reward.
Screwed. I mean, the Krogan platoon's gonna be over here raping and killing for dominance. The Turians are gonna start starving. They're gonna start eating the humans. The humans are gonna start starving. They're gonna start eating themselves, turn to cannibalism, and in the end, everyone's gonna starve to death and die. That's just the reality of the situation. Also, if all the mass relays are destroyed, what's the point in uniting the galaxy? Yeah, the Krogans and the Turians patched up their conflict. That's good. Oh, too bad they're never gonna see each other ever again because there are no more mass relays. It just makes uniting the galaxy and putting all those conflicts to rest absolutely pointless. Now, people have said that human beings do get interstellar travel back and mass relays because at the very, very end of the game, it shows the old guy talking to the kid on a planet that's clearly not Earth. But that could be one of 100 things. Maybe that old guy is like the great-great-great-great-great-grandkid of a couple of humans that were on the Asari planet and now they're still there. Maybe after the Normandy marooned on that planet, that's like the distant descendants. But that's the thing, nothing's set in stone, it's all theory. One ending that's tweaked like 16 different ways to be kind of different but really not, in which no one knows the definitive meaning of it and everyone has theories and questions. That's a problem. Maybe that was
It's funny how he says that right now. Like basically almost half my channel is basically just theories. But hey, I managed to build a channel off of it. So, I mean, people do have questions. You guys have questions. You guys are still wondering what the heck is going on. It's just so funny that people are still so like, there's this huge enigma of what's going to happen now. as I said before, like we're gonna get a new Mass Effect game, so that's good. But still, you know, those questions are still like sort of there. Anyway, let's continue.
BioWare's plan to get people talking about the ending online, but that's just a cheap-ass thing to do. Now, I've heard some theories about, well, maybe the ending's just indoctrination, he just dreamed the whole thing. I would be fine in buying that if that was one of the endings, one of the possible bad endings. But in the end, it just feels like people are grasping for straws to find anything that is not the ending that they got, which I think is really sad. That's people going, oh, maybe it was just all a dream. You mean you would rather have a dream that didn't happen rather than the ending you did have be fact? Yes. That doesn't depress anyone else. If you're gonna boast about 16 different endings being in the game, make them vastly different. Or yeah, make one ending be the ending you get, where the mass relays all blow up, everyone's stranded on Earth, the entire galaxy's cut off from each other. That'll be our bad ending. But maybe have another ending where if you gave the elusive man the collector base, maybe he lives, then maybe he's on trial for war crimes and you and Anderson are there just throwing the book at him. And for God's sakes, give us a good ending. I understand the common belief is that in epics like these, the hero has to die, but the phrase the hero has to anything in a game like Mass Effect that's built around choice and you picking your own destiny, it goes against everything that Mass Effect is all about. If someone plays good for the entire time, they should earn a good ending. You know, show what's happening with your crew, show Shepard and Garrus on a beach.
Dude. It's so insane how, you know, how this affected so many people that, you know, of course, it's a game, you know, it's just a video game, so it doesn't really matter, but since it was the Mass Effect, has always been this perfect form of escapism. You know, you're transported to somewhere in our Milky Way galaxy, and you're stopping the Reaper War, or you're trying to stop them, and you have all these things happen, and then you have all these choices, and then it just, you know, ends up on this sour note. And any Mass Effect OGs who played the games back then, you know what I'm talking about. Like the feeling of just absolute dread. Like, what the heck is this ending? I just feel like he just hits the nail right on the head. Like he just gets what the problem was from the beginning, and he explains it so well. So I you know, I get a little bit emotional whenever I see like videos that are like old like this talking about it, because I could never really put words into why I felt like I didn't like them from the beginning, but he does like the perfect job of explaining it. I forgot, I have 3 minutes left of the video. Let's continue.
They're talking with each other. Shepard's like, well, we did it, Garrus. We took back Earth. Garrus is all like, you took it back, Shepard, because I was there and I had your back. What would you do without me? You know, they have banter back and forth because they're really strong war buddies. Then you see the beach that they're looking at, and it's a beach, but you see like big dead Reapers sticking out of the water, and they're like, well, it's gonna take some work, but we took Earth back. Maybe have another ending that goes across the galaxy, shows the Geth and the Quarians working together, shows the Turians and the Krogans shaking hands. Show that what you did in the game mattered. The fact that you brought the galaxy together is still relevant, not just negated. Make 16 completely distinct and different endings based on what you have done in your saga. That is what people wanted. We wanted to see what happened to our crew. We have grown to love the characters, so show resolution with our characters. Not just, oh, the crew got stranded on a planet somewhere. No dialogue, that just happened and now they're there. Speaking of the Normandy getting stranded on a planet, why was Joker running from the fight? I mean, Joker's flying the Normandy with your crew in it away.
This is why I think BioWare very much referred to Jeremy's video on this, because of the fact that we actually get to see what happened to Joker in the extended cut. We actually see him flying away from Earth, but you know, he's hesitating because he doesn't want to leave Shepard behind. But the cool thing here is that Jeremy brings it up and we got that. There are probably other people who brought it up as well, maybe like Angry Joe, who also made a video about this. But I still think that Jeremy had a lot of influence on what happened later on.
From the battle. They get marooned on a planet somewhere off in the galaxy, which means they hit the mass relay before you made your choice and blew up the mass relays. In which case, Shepard is near death, limps to the end of the game, gets up to the Citadel, and Joker was like, all right, crew, come on, peace, we're out. They would not do that. Your crew would not leave you at the end of the battle. They would stick with you to the end, no matter what choice you made. I just find that a violation of all the characters of your entire crew. So here it is. EA, BioWare, if you're watching this, the people have invested a lot of time and money into the saga that you've given them. You owe owe them a solid ending. You owe them what you promised them, which is 16 different endings. Not one ending that's 95% the same, minus a couple tweaks here and there. We're asking for DLC content. We're asking that you fix this right now. And free DLC. We already bought the game. Give us the ending we paid for. And God forbid that's not going to work. People out there, of the 76,000 subscribers I have, 76. If someone knows how to program code, can you make a new ending? Or a few different endings, please? If you can make a new ending, that would be golden. Doesn't even have to have dialogue. Just make it like...
Hey. Optimus happy ending mod. Big Dan talked about it. We got that for the Legendary Edition at least. Hey. Maybe like 10 years too late, but hey, still. And I gotta say, like, it's really cool that Optimus made that mod because, you know, I just wish we had gotten that back then because I think that would have calmed stuff down maybe a little bit, maybe not, but anyway, like the fact that there's a mod for a happy ending, it just speaks volumes of the love that people have for this universe.
Like the end of Mass Effect 2 where it just shows Shepard walking through and all his crew's nodding at him like, yeah, we did it. So that's what I feel about it. That is what I feel about the endings to Mass Effect 3 or ending. There are petitions out there that you can sign that are pretty much like, no, those endings do not count. Give us what we deserve. I put a few of them below if you want to go check them out, sign them. Now this is one of these scenarios I can tell you, I can promise you this is going to happen right when I upload this video. I'm going to start thinking of things that I forgot to say in this video that I still adamantly feel are relevant. So if you think of something that I didn't mention in this video, comment below, tell me about it, make a video about it, put it as a video response to this video, I'll accept it and show this to EA or Bioware. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click.
All right, okay, I gotta say, like for any of you guys who don't know, JeremyJahns is probably one of my favorite YouTubers ever. I've always watched his content. I always, you know, try to watch every video he does because he just has this way of describing stuff or movies or games in this very simple way, like in layman's terms. He makes you understand basically anything he's talking about. And I really love this video because, you know, back then when this happened, like I even think this is probably Jeremy's, if you're somebody who's been watching his channel, you'd know that this is one of his most intense videos he's ever made. Like I'm not shitting you. I don't think I've ever seen Jeremy this pissed off about anything ever. And I think that speaks volumes also about how big of a fan he is of Mass Effect. And hey, Jeremy, if you're watching this video, you know, you're free to claim the monetization. It's fine. I just needed to make this video because this puts everything into perspective about how really bad it was back then. You could never really accurately describe like the panic people felt, like how distraught everybody was who played Mass Effect 3 and then, you know, after the ending, because a lot of you guys have said like, oh, I didn't play the OG Mass Effect, so I don't know what that felt like. Because in the Legendary Edition, you get the extended cut and you get all the DLC and everything, so everything feels much more complete and it's just a much better ending overall with the extended cut and in the Legendary Edition. But back then, it was such a shit show. And I just needed to show this video to kind of describe, and because Jeremy is so good with his words and he's so intense, you could almost feel like his anger and his like irritation that this is what we got and that this is what we're like left with. Now, of course, as I said before, Bioware did fix it with the extended cut, so they have redeemed themselves, you know, past that. It's not an issue anymore, but it's still an interesting thing to look back to now, comparing that to, you know, to everything that's happened in between and all that. I just think it's a really interesting video for people to watch nowadays. So if you want to watch his follow-up video, you can check out the extended cut video. I will link that, and I will link this video too if you just want to see this without me babbling away and, you know, cutting him off. God damn it, go over and subscribe to him because he's probably like the best reviewer guy on YouTube for anything. He's pretty huge now, actually. He has like millions of subs. It was so funny when he said like, I have 70,000 subscribers, could you please make a mod? It's so interesting to look back at how much he's grown. So there you have it. And thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. MrHulthen signing out.